back with another episode for the community
Back
podcast.
with another episode.
We got Raven here. Do you have like a stage name?
Yeah, like a nickname. Everyone's coming on here.
I was just asking my mom that, and we like Luxx. It's like LoadedLuxx.
Okay.
Ooh,
You're a rapper.
Whoa.
No, but like the rapper, but I got LoadedLuxx from luxuria, which means lust in Latin. And I feel like I exude sometimes the lust and the fantasy.
Now this
See,
So-
that is a perfect way to introduce
this episode.
Wow.
Okay. Lux. Do you prefer LoadedLuxx or just Lux?
You can call me Luxx because you know me.
All right.
Oh,
Got it. Thanks.
okay.
Thank you, Raven.
Wow.
Lux, I mean. All right. So we got Lux here for the community podcast, and we are talking about. Well, before we start talking about what we're talking about, we're just gonna walk into it. So I'm gonna tell everybody a story, and this is my introduction into the connection between women and men. I used to live on 44th, my grandma's house, and I had this one friend who I used to come outside with every day, friend Q, right? We used to play every day. He was a year older than me. All the time, every day, he was outside with Q playing. So one day, there was this girl who pulled up, right? And this black girl, dark-skinned girl, and it was like, we were just doing regular stuff like playing basketball, playing this, playing that, playing tag, whatever.
Right.
And I don't think I realized it at the time, what type of connection we were building or how I felt about it. And then all of a sudden one day, after I want to say like a week, maybe 2 weeks, she just disappeared. And I didn't see her.
Okay.
And this is the first time, and maybe the only time in my life, that I ever cried over a woman. I was bawling.
Hey, champ. You sure you want to? You know what I'm saying?
It's okay to be vulnerable.
Okay. Oh, I'm a vulnerable. I'm the president of vulnerability. It doesn't matter. You really want to say it? Okay.
This was
Shout out to you, Jim.
so this was the first time that I ever cried over a woman. And after years go by, and I start piecing together, okay, this woman, a dark-skinned woman, she was probably just as tall as I was. She was a year older than me. And I remember that she said that she lived on 45th Street. So I go to school and I start interacting with people and I start remembering like, oh yeah, there was this girl. And when I talk about bowling, like I went to my dad and I'm like, hey, yeah, go, hey, I was balling, right? So there was a real connection there. So fast forward, I'm years later, I'm going to school, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I realized that this said woman is Raven Walker.
That's me.
But did she give you buckets or not? That's what I thought that's where that story was going. She give you buckets or not, Jimmy?
I don't think anybody has ever given me buckets.
Jimmy, we just had two guests on here that would disagree with that. We had two of them. You know,
Nah.
That's a good story, though. That's a solid story.
But yeah, so
you cry? You don't cry, Jim.
I think that was the only time that I ever cried over a woman. And since then, my heart has been frozen. So thank you, Raven, for breaking my heart and sending me off into the world.
I could have sworn I didn't know that.
I told you this before.
You told me this before, but
I don't think I ever told you the whole story.
No, it was like years later. I was like, I'm sorry. I gotta warm it now.
So, this is who we got on the podcast, Heartbreaker Raven Luxx. And you have now moved on in life from breaking hearts to now trying to liberate people from their broken hearts through their sexuality, if that makes sense.
It does.
Right? So, where does this start? Like, I've been around your family, and I've been around your mom, dad, your little brother. Y'all all, like, y'all seem like a close-knit family. Y'all seem like y'all real tight. Like y'all talk about a lot. Y'all seem real open and real playful with each other. How did your parents feel about you going on this journey? Like, when did this start? Did you talk to them first? Was this always a thing in your household? Like, what is this process like?
It was not always a thing in my household. So I naturally have always been like sexually inclined. It's safe to say that I feel like a lot of us have watched porn at a very young age.
Okay, yes.
So that already like sparked some type of light in my head. I'm like, ooh, what is this stuff? Here's sex. Mm-hmm. And I knew that it went beyond, because I wasn't just watching like regular heterosexual porn. It was more like lesdom and all these other furries and all these other aspects of sex. I was like, whoa, there's voyeuristic, there's exhibitionist. I'm wearing all these things. I'm like, whoa, nobody's teaching it to me. Mm-hmm. And then as I got older, I kept on that same path. I would do therapy sessions with people from high school in my family room. And although intimacy wasn't really an issue, just not intimacy, but like actual penetration, sex wasn't an issue, but it was actual intimacy of how can we communicate with one another, how can I get them to understand or feel like appreciated or anything like that. So as time went on, I was like, all right, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to do this. Expressions, the sex store around the corner. I've always wanted to work there. Okay. I graduated school, called there probably 3 consecutive years prior. Like, are you guys hiring? You're hiring? So my dad, he said, you went to college to work at a sex store? I said, well, Dad, there's other things I want to do. No. You can't go to college just to work at a sex store. And I was like, but no, like, there's a whole vision. He just couldn't see it. My mom, I have middle child syndrome.
Okay.
So it's like,
so you have an older sister.
Yes. Okay. So it's like, here's Raven with another thing, another idea. I would always say outrageous things when I was younger. So my mom was just like, here's another idea. Go ahead, Raven. My dad's like, you wouldn't talk about it, forced me to get another job. But we since resolved that because now I'm on a whole different path. He's like, I see the vision now. So it's okay. It's okay. Yes. So.
Okay. So you said you said you were having, so when is this process of you having these counseling therapy sessions in your house? Like, is it while you're going to school for this stuff? Is it before you left to college? Is it during high school?
This is during high school. This is literally from like 9th to 12th grade. I'm hosting therapy sessions in my house with different couples. Your top co-pay couples.
Really?
That was me. Yeah. I wasn't responsible for any breakups. But I am responsible. I'm responsible for them lasting a few extra months.
Okay.
I am responsible for that.
So, wow. Okay. How? Wow. Okay. How? All right.
I was just gonna say, what caused you to do that?
Yeah. Like, how does this start? Like,
that's not something you just be like, just come to my house later today. We'll fix the shit. You know, that's not.
Yeah.
Or was it that?
Or was it that? I don't know.
Everybody always came to me like, Raven, this is what I'm going through. And I never was able to judge people as far as who they choose because I understand that we go for what we want, whether it's good, bad in other people's eyes. You just got to figure it out and work it out. And I always try to give people the platform and the space to talk and be able to vent because I understand I wasn't the person that was able to vent to anybody. Everybody came to me. So it just came natural for me to be like, all right, well, I know these people. They're coming to me. Come to my house. Come down the block. Come around the corner. You know, my parents, they didn't mind. I would have one person go out the room, sit in the dining room. We'll do like 30 minutes. Have another person come in. We'll do another 30 minutes. Have them both come in. We was doing that.
All while leading co-pay and rebounds. It's crazy.
Right.
Wow.
For the community. Good God.
For the community, yes.
Good God.
Wow. When did people start like coming to you with their problems, like with their issues? Like, is this from your whole life? You just felt this? Because I shared this story earlier, but clearly now that I'm hearing the rest of this, people have had a connection to you and feeling comfortable around you. Like, was this always like this?
I think I'm thinking back to it. Like I said before, I I used to consider myself the United Nations. My sleepovers, I used to have Spanish, white, black, Asian, everything. So it's like I was always welcoming to understand all these different types of people and how we function. So like it came natural.
Wow.
Like I can't, yeah, it came very natural.
Not to rush too far, but do you feel like you're walking in your purpose with this whole thing?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like I'm excited for. I'm not gonna give because I figure you have your own little flow, but I'm excited for my future because this is what I've always wanted to do, and working in my path now, it just feels so natural, and it's not work. So.
Okay, good to hear. So you start having these therapy sessions, and I'm guessing the first one, the second one, and the third one went good because you kept having them.
Mm-hmm.
So, you went to school for communications. You went to school
I went to school for physical therapy.
Another physical therapist on the podcast. Okay, and this is totally not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I went to school for physical therapy, and I was like, I love the body, but not that deep.
Okay.
So I was like, ooh, psychology, and I'm learning about the world, I'm learning about the brain. So I was like, this sounds pretty nice. And then it was just like psychopath. Whew. A psychology journey.
Well, it was like
from there on out. Yeah.
Psych, okay.
So it was my psychopath, and I would say my senior year I took a human sexual behavior class, and that kind of just went full force. Like, these are the possibilities I can do in a psych degree, or what I can do like going forward as far as education wise.
Okay, so this is taking all types of turns. All right, Raven, you are an experienced woman. You've touched different paths, nice. I like it. All right, so boom, we get the counseling thing. You take that, and you go to school for physical therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Physical therapy is not working out. Senior year, you say, hey, you take this class about, you said human sexual behaviors. And during this class, you find out, all right, this is what I'm with. This is what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Graduate, and you start working on expressions.
Yes.
Now, for people who are not listening, who are not from Copiague, who are listening or watching, Expressions is a sex store, adult store. You go in and you get anything from lingerie to toys or
sex dolls, whatever you want it, you name it, it's there.
Whatever, right? Cool. So you start working there. What did you see in working there? What did you get out of working there that moved you forward?
Again, people naturally, when you go up to them, like, oh, what are you looking for today? They would tell me their problems. So it was like, oh, okay.
Jesus
yes.
Christ.
So it's like people would naturally tell me their problems or the type of sexual fantasies they're into. So I was building fantasies, learning what they like, what they don't like, what they're into, what they're willing to try. So I was creating like a whole sexual profile and like psychoanalysis of these people.
Wow.
And I was like, ooh. And I would explain to this is your clit, and then you can put this and you can do that. And they're like, wait, what? And it looks like that. Where do I put this? How does this work? I can do what with what? Yeah. So it's like, oh, there's a keen area for things not explored, and then just being in that environment, I seen a variation of different sexual profiles, and I was like, okay, I think I can definitely fit in here, and I just felt comfortable. I felt at home. It was like the first time outside of Copiague that I felt home. Like I felt where I was with people that understood me and accepted me, and I accepted them. So I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be, how I'm supposed to go.
Okay.
And you said first time feeling home.
Yeah.
That's I resonate with that because I told people for the longest, just because I'm someone who's moved around a whole lot. So when you do something like that, you got to find home in like activities or things.
Right.
And my home is the basketball court. Whenever I'm on a basketball court, I immediately feel any and every emotion that signifies home. So like, I understand, because some people are like, did she just call a sex store home? Can she do that? Is that really a thing? It is a thing, because home doesn't have to be something with four walls, a front door, and a doorbell. It could be any and everything that brings you a sense of security.
So we get to well, before we go further, I want to let you know I'm watching this guy here because he's like this, like, oh, I went to church and
first of all,
and
but I really had to get that cough out. That's why.
So he's like this, like pristine, like don't want to get dirty, like, you know, got this image about him. So I'm interested in how he is going to act.
You guys know that
during this during this
know
interview.
You know.
Because like I watch you, all right, you talking about, all right, yeah, blah blah, the clit and this and that. Like I'm looking at him.
I was engaged. I was engaged.
Okay, so
paying attention.
At the sex store, you feel home. How do you tie this sexual understanding, what you went to school for, what you learned at school, what you learned at the sex store, into now counseling couples, talking to couples? Like, what is this connection?
And individuals. Because sex is not just a couple's thing.
Okay, yeah, let us know, yes.
So as far as what I do with therapy, like my therapy practice-wise, it's more so I use sex for self-esteem building, creating perspective of looking at sex, pornography, and different lenses, and getting a better understanding of sex and the portrayal of sex and how we interpret it and how we really, truly want to experience sex. So it goes deeper than, oh, this is what I want for my partner. It's more so, this is what makes me feel good. Oh, I'm comfortable in this part of my body. I love, like, the way I have the stretch marks on my inner thighs or something like that. It's more sexual liberation. And I also take it and teach people that experience sexual trauma how to heal themselves and reclaim their own sexuality and feel comfortable and feel that sexiness that they often feel was taken away from them.
Quick question. With that, my brain immediately went to women. But I'm sure that there's men out there who you need to do this to as well.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the case? And have you dealt with men or had counseled men, had therapy with men who you've had to, you know, go through this process with?
Yeah, I did. And it's actually, I love the experience with men. Men are totally different than women. Women are like, once they find out, like, you don't judge them or anything, it's like word vomit. Word vomit. With men, it's skeptical. Like, yeah, I'm having an issue. What's up? You know, I don't know. I don't know how to navigate these things. Tell me about these things.
Yeah.
What are these things? And then the moment that they feel like, when it's like I got a poker face. So once people tell me certain things, I have to work naturally to keep my facial expressions to myself, not mention any or consider any of my own biases.
And about yourself, if you took that to learning about friendship, if you took that to learn all the things that I think are necessary in life and all the connections that need to be made, all the things that need to be learned, I think that school and what you learn on by watching TV don't hit the mark. I don't think that they do a justice to any of these things. Right. And so the women in your life, do you have any women in your life that you feel, or what is the problem, or is there an issue with women and talking freely about sex? Is there, is there an issue with women and talking freely about sex? To me, in general.
Oh, in general, yes, there is an issue. I think amongst ourselves, it's not really an issue. Again, it's all dependent upon what aspects of sex we're talking about. If we're talking about having sex with David on Tuesday and then maybe giving Charlotte cunnilingus on Sunday and then fucking, I don't know, John on another day, girls are not going to be like, yes, girl, let me tell you. So I did X, Y, and Z, unless everybody comes to me and tells me that stuff. Okay. Because I'm like, I'm here for it. I had one girl be like, David, I just got Eiffel Tower. And I was like, yes! Like, you know, like...
Okay, whatever that is. All right.
Yeah. Google it. But yeah, so I think that, I think I forgot the question, actually.
Okay. It was all over the question was all over the place, so I understand. So, all right. Men, women, we need to open the conversation. Period. Now, for the community, there's a lot of like I said, me and my parents never had that conversation, and you sound like you second.
Nope.
You didn't have
Sure
that
didn't.
conversation. Chris nodded his head. He didn't have that conversation. So how do we open those doors? How do we open this conversation to families, parents having this conversation with their kids? Like, how do we break those doors down? Because as we know, sex is usually a taboo topic. Something that
the only thing that really I ever got from that was always prevention. Like that's the only thing my family has ever been able to, and it won't even be on some like a detailed reason. Just like don't get no girl pregnant.
Right.
Use a condom.
Yeah.
All right, go. Like that was it. So I just had to.
No. Yeah. I actually just did a study on how to revamp sexual education as far as what we learned with STD and as far as what we learned with STDs and how stigma and all that plays a part. And a lot of what I found of how we to improve was, all right, but our parents. This is what I learned in my house. This is what I learned at school. And they don't align. And the reason why they don't align is because our parents are misinformed. Because not history, but health classes have been the same in and out. It's prevention. Don't have sex because you're going to get pregnant. You're going to get STD. You're going to die.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So it's like, don't have sex. That's what they learn. And so what they learn and pass down to us, you should only have one person. It should be you and your husband. You shouldn't step out. You can't be for other people. So it's just a pass down. And we have to break those not curses, but break those ideologies and tell parents, like, you could explore yourself at 47. You can learn more about sex, and again,
Chill. My mom watches. She's 47.
Well, no.
Your mama, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Again, it's beyond the actual act of it. It's just learning about, like, informing yourself about the different sexual orientations. Like, that's what I mean, too, by educating our parents, because they grew up in a different time. There's a lot of things that they don't know what's super taboo to them, and they can't even teach us about it. So we're stuck with just don't have sex and use condoms if you need to have sex. Girls go on birth control or don't have sex at all.
Yeah.
So I feel that to connect with them, parents have to realize, like, wait, I don't know. And accept that they don't know because they think they know everything. And they don't know everything. We don't know everything. So it's like, it's okay to want to know and to learn more at whatever age you are. And the more we know, the more we talk about it, the better we educate our communities. And so with me and STD, sexual conversations, it's not about trying to just teach people about, like, their sexuality. It's about teaching them different methods and other ways to go about sex in turn of trying to decrease the STD transmission amongst young teens. Because if we start talking about it, then maybe more teens will be like, all right, well, listen, this is what's happening. And then the STD rate will go down. It's preventing teen pregnancies. It's preventing deaths from teens hiding or getting abortions or taking Plan B pills. It's way more than it's educating them so that they're sexually responsible. So I feel like that's my job as far as the community and my sex work is making sure everybody's sexually responsible. You're going to get pregnant. You might have STDs. You might run into mishaps. But because you're aware, now you know the methods and the different routes and resources that you can turn to further expand your knowledge and learn more and heal yourself.
Question.
Yeah.
So how frequent do you come across hormonal imbalance being a reason for someone struggling, or have you?
It's like one of my struggles. My hormone imbalance is like all over the place. So I'm one. But I haven't really got to the point where I'm sitting and asking, like, all right, well, what's your period like, or what's your intake to really figure out what's going on in there. I haven't gone into that depth.
Okay. I was just curious.
Hormonal imbalances, I feel like that's more like MD stuff, because that's when you have the reproductive system kind of whacking out on you. So, but hormonal imbalance does have to do with libido. So I do ask, like, how do you sleep? How do you eat? So I do ask those type of questions, but not only am I analyzing to figure out if it's depression, anxiety, or whatever it may be, it's more so, okay, how is this affecting them in their daily life? How do you feel about yourself? Are you sexually active? Can you be sexually active? You know, so it's more so bigger the whole.
No.
I just realized that.
Yeah, that's what I was like. That was good. That was good. That was really good.
Okay, so it's tough to tell your parents that they don't know everything, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to tell our parents that they don't know everything.
Mom, you don't know everything. Pops, grandma, you don't know nothing. Sorry.
Oh, you took it to nothing.
Yes.
I'm
I'm bold like that.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Parents. That's how we started at home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as the school is concerned, are they too far gone? Can we save the schools? Is there something that you can do when you go to school? If you're a child watching, is there certain questions that you should ask while you're in school? Is there certain information that you should be looking for? What can we use the schools for to better our sex education? Because they're not getting it done right now.
Or youth centers. Sorry.
Or youth centers, if you have them.
Yes.
Every place has them. You just need to find them.
Right. There's
Sometimes they're not.
Speaking of youth centers, that's another conversation for another day.
No, it's not. Oh, no, it's not. It's for today. It's for the community. Yeah.
But to answer your first part, like I said, I'm already trying to actively infiltrate not even the school system, the curriculum.
Okay.
And just what's being taught and how it's being taught. So from my study, what I've concluded is the information that we get, it's not like evidence-based sex positive, it's society-based, what we think is sex positive. And here's a couple of numbers to go along with it.
Wow.
Right. So again, it's more so shameful. Don't have it. If you're gonna feel bad about it, if you have sex or if you have these other things. So I feel that in order to really implement something that will work in a school system is to make it sex positive, make people want to talk about it, and make them want to ask questions, not just show me scary pictures of somebody having like crust coming out the tip of their penis. You know, like okay, like I get it, but what else? Like, what about sex? Talk about self-esteem and what masturbation is and the different forms of masturbation. We didn't learn about that. It was just like, all right, this is your period, this is that, this is syphilis, this is gonorrhea, this is herpes. It's like, all right, well, damn, is there any joy in this? And that's where but that's where us as youth teens, we're like, okay, this is what sex class is teaching us. There's no way in hell it can be like this. So let me go and figure it out myself. Right. And then once we start going and figuring out ourselves, and that's when we have all the mess ups where you have people getting pregnant, you have people experience sexual abuse, sexual violence, because these are things that we're not talking about in a health class. That it's not deemed as something that's health related, but in all actuality, it is, because sex is also linked to your mental health. So it's one and the same in some cases. So if we're not even treating this like a health problem, just like a don't do it, we're gonna all seek out examples, answers for ourselves. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and so we talked about infiltrating parents at home, talked about infiltrating the school system. Now we touched on, I would like to go deeper into, what do you think as a community, do you think there is a way youth centers, things outside, that middle ground, parent don't come home till this time of day, it's the summertime, kids is outside, they don't got nothing to do. There's that middle ground of you're not going to school, you're not with your parents. During these times, because those are that's the time. Mm-hmm. That's the time when everything goes on.
Absolutely.
So during those times, Do you think that there are youth centers that could be pushing certain information? Is that possible? Is there activities that you think should be happening? Like, where do you think we go in those times? Where do you think the kids go in those times?
As far as sexual wise, or just during the summer and trying to find something to stimulate their mind?
Like,
So I got an answer for whatever you need.
Okay.
Stimulation of the mind,
Love it.
I want to know more about it. I want to know, hey, is this something that I should be experiencing? Am I a bad person because I want to have sex?
Right.
Like, if I'm a kid, where do I go to find this information? Where should I be looking? Or is there places that we're lacking that have that information? Is there places that we should be opening up that have that information?
I definitely think that there's places that are lacking.
That we're lacking.
That we're lacking, definitely. Especially in Kobe Amityville. We have UNEO. But
when you say UNEO, you mean like the 8th Center?
yeah, United North. Amityville, youth organization.
That place. Right off Cedar.
Yes, in the sticks.
Okay, all right, okay.
And so we have that place, and I even went there as a kid too. I know a lot of people from Amityville that went there, and they had summer camp programs and all that stuff too. But I don't hear much about it now or any type of involvement with our youth now. So I feel like we have to get back to those places and start advertising them and doing what you're doing, connecting with everybody else in the neighborhoods, and because we're all doing big things and can come together to create something even bigger. And so one of my ultimate dreams is to come back to the hood.
Mm-hmm.
So being that I'm getting my master's in social work right now, I want to be able to open up my own, either nonprofit or for-profit, where it's kind of going to be like the Black Panthers and how they created their own organization as far as educating the youth. And I feel with Black and brown youth, we don't have outlets. We don't have means to get therapy or information outside of if we're going to school, and that's when you're in school.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's important to put something like that within the neighborhood and give them other opportunities and experiences. So another thing I wanted to integrate was rugby into the process. And so getting the kids out here to start playing rugby, you learn about camaraderie, you're working together as a team, you're creating bonds with people, and then from there I can also share my knowledge and push for the mental health, and this is what we can do, and create all these opportunities for the youth that we didn't have unless somebody's like, hey, you heard about this camp program at UNEO? So instead of it being like that, it's like, oh, COPE. Oh, yeah, that's where, I'm not going to tell you the name of my organization yet, but that's where the organization's going to be. Yeah. So it's like, all right. But I feel we have to keep on coming together and figure out what we could do to put our seeds back into, because we are just a whole bunch of gyms out here. There's how we can just come back and help our community grow. Because I feel like we got from a lot of the things that we were about too as a community. I feel like we were more wholesome and try to create avenues for people to, like, you know, express themselves.
I love this podcast. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Wow, okay.
Oh, boy.
He's very happy right now.
I love it.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
You have, oh, man. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.